Today on a video review we have an instrument. That's right, I like to call it an instrument, because amongst other features it measures time. Let's start from the looks of the watch. It's an understatement that this watch is big, but unlike other big G-Shocks I had a chance to wear, it's not that big. It fits my wrist pretty well. Although there are big buttons on this watch, they do not stand out as much. And details are stealthy, not too flashy. Other thing that I like is this big buckle and strap holder. They stand out for the quality of the watch. When you shake the watch, they jiggle. The watch is heavy too, and unlike other G-Shocks with bulky and hard to operate screw-down crown, I did not have too much trouble dealing with it. Only time you really need the crown is when you want to set the watch. Most of the guys I showed this watch thought that the side sensor is a button, but it's not. So that is the testimony of streamlined design, at least for me. Everything is bolted and glued together nicely. Only regard is the position of the upper digital sub-dial, which is usually placed in the lower part of the watch display. But hey, that's just me saying. Couple of guys thought that I was wearing it upside down. All in all, a great instrument, a watch second. The Casio GShock Master of G Gulfmaster collection is unique for a few interesting reasons. Sort of a dive watch and sort of a hardcore marine themed watch. What further separates the Gulfmaster collection from other G-Shock models is actually how they look. Casio's G-Shock fans tend to begin their collecting obsession with the relatively inexpensive models, typically costing around $200. Many stay there, but the brave ones who truly appreciate the mastery of what the G-Shock watch can do eventually embark on the fascinating road of what I'll call high-end G-Shocks. To many active professionals or serious adventure seekers, these high-end G-Shock watches represent the perfect watch. Right underneath the MRG and MTG collection watches is the Master of G-Shock collection, which includes such model families as the Frogman, Mudmaster, Gravity Master, and the Gulfmaster. The Casio G-Shock Master of G Gulfmaster is currently at the top of the Gulfmaster ladder and is both the first Gulfmaster watch to sport a sapphire crystal as well as the quad sensor array. It also happens to be ideal for people who love G-Shock watches but also like analog dials. The large white hands and hour markers offer excellent contrast and make for superior legibility. Of course, the hands and hour markers have applied illuminant, but the dial also features the dual LED lights. The new Gulfmaster has 5 environmental sensors to help track changing ocean conditions. The sensors include an altimeter, barometer, compass, a thermometer, and a depth gauge to measure the water depth. The altitude measures the altitude or your highest height above a fixed level such as sea level or terrain. The barometer changes in atmospheric pressures, which help predict the sudden weather change. When the pressure rapidly rises or falls, the watch's automatic alarm will beep. The thermometer tracks changes in air and water temperature. The compass not only provides direction but also helps determine the direction of wind and tides. And as a dive watch, also has a depth meter. The Casio's G-Shock Master of G Gulfmaster is water resistant up to 200 meters. The strap is easily long enough to go over most dive suits, but if you want a really long strap for the Frogman is the way to go. Look on the underside of the watch and you'll see 3 vertical slits, which is where the water is meant to enter to access the depth meter sensor. The watch can measure depth down to 50 meters and does so in 0.1 meter increments. It also has some logging features from the last 40 dives, which include dive times, date, and of course the maximum depth. Similar to other high-end G-Shock watches, this watch is sturdy and built inside. This watch measures 48 mm in height and 57.3 mm in width, including the crown. The watch depth is 17 mm, and it weighs a total of 113 grams. Other key features that this watch includes are tide graph, moon phase indicator, sunrise and sunset, 200 meters water resistance, tough solar power system, world time, which tracks 48 cities instead of standard 24, stopwatch, countdown timer, up to 5 daily alarms, calendar, shock resistance, radio controlled watch, so it's a multi-band 6 signal receive watch, data log up to 40 dives, which stores the dive times, date, and maximum depth, and it comes a price of around $850. So let's check out some basic functions of this watch. Like many other complicated or higher level G-Shocks, it has multiple functions and features. So what well, I'm gonna start off from the upper subdial, and it can shuffle its data management or the data shown by pressing the upper left button, and it can shuffle between the currently it's on the barometric pressure graph and the month and the day display. By pressing the upper left button, I'm shifting to the hour, minutes, and the seconds, and this is the AM PM indicator. Next press moves us to the today's moon age, and again pressing it is the other format of the date. So you can constantly scroll through these data representations as you want to, depending on what you want to see on your sub dial. So another cool feature of this G-Shock, unlike like the other many G-Shocks, is the move the hands out of the way. Well, that's done by pressing the illumination button and then the mode button, and the hands will move out of the way, so you can have the better access to the these sub dials for when you are navigating through the watch functions. Again, pressing the same button coordination will get you the to the hands showing the correct time on the watch. What is the timekeeping? Well, the timekeeping modes are the modes that are selected from the watch, and there are several modes. Modes of the watch are shuffled using this button over here, and they shuffle from the recall mode, world time mode, tide and the moon data mode, sunrise and the sunset, stopwatch mode, countdown timer mode, alarm mode, and data or the radio time signal receive. So another click and the higher pitch of the sound gets us to the standard timekeeping mode. This watch is equipped with 4 sensors, so it's a quad sensor watch, and navigating through these sensors are done by pressing this button over here, and you can shuffle between the depth mode, the barometer mode, digital compass mode, and in each and every mode the subdial has a different purpose. So next press of the button gets us to the altimeter mode, and you can also watch this secondary subdial here. The smaller hand will move to the these acronyms accordingly. So next press gets us to the temperature mode, and again pressing it gets us to the depth gauge. So that would be the basics of the shuffling between the sensors, and pressing the mode button returns us to the standard timekeeping. Configuring home city settings. There are 2 home city settings. Actually selecting the home city and selecting either standard or daylight saving time or the DST. To configure the home city settings and the summertime settings, in the timekeeping mode you have to first unscrew this screw down crown, and it will pop out, and there it is. Then pull the crown out and city will appear on the upper subdial, upper digital subdial. For details about city codes, see the city code table, and you can find that city code table on the Google, I'm sure. To change the displayed city code up here, currently it's Madrid, you can shuffle it using this crown and rotating it backwards and forwards, or clockwise or anti-clockwise, whatever you like. And my current time zone is Paris, so I'm gonna leave it at Paris, but you get the principle of the rotating or changing the home city settings. Now how to display the DST or the daylight saving time setting screen. press the lower left button, and we have flashing the DST, is it auto or on or off, and I can shuffle between those functions by rotating this crown. I'm gonna leave it at auto because that's my time zone and that's the correct preset value. Once you are done, push the crown back in, and basically you are done with the settings of the home city settings and the DST setting. Well, that would conclude all of this short review, and thank you very much for watching. Please do leave a like and subscribe for my channel for more further watch content. Thanks.